Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Space Mayhem, a new space shooter recently added to Steam. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. Space Mayhem from developer Chronic Vagrant is a title in that classic space shooter genre, similar to Asteroids. It's a value title that recently released on Steam in January of 2019, but I feel it's a title that's well worth your time. So, looking at the menu, we have options, and we have ships, and we have play. So the options are actually relatively bare bones in this one, largely just having to do with sound, vibration, and also tutorial. But under ships, this is what really goes and excites me about this game. We start with our base ship, the Falcon, which has very balanced stats, but as you scroll to the right you'll see additional ships, and these ones are ships that you have to unlock through collecting money in the game and then purchasing. So I've already unlocked the carrier and the runner, and there's several more that I have yet to obtain in the game itself. I think it's great when you have those kind of unlockables in a game, and especially for the budget price that this game is asking. That's incredible value, and just something that I love to go and see in any game, period. You can also start the game from this menu, although I would like to know that there is a minor bug here, that if you're on the menu on a ship that you don't have purchased, it's not actually possible to return the menu or return to menu or start the game. Just something to note. But from here we can go and start the game with any of the ships that we do have unlocked, and we see our brief tutorial, which you can turn off if you don't want to see that. The game starts when we touch the D-pad. We launch from our little platform, though it is possible to get hit by the asteroids and enemies before that. So we have the ability to control our ship, steering it left and right, and that's in relation to the nose itself. So everything is based off of the direction that your ship is pointing. We have the ability to fire with our base gun, and it has 10 rounds of ammunition. If we happen to burn through all of our ammunition, there's a brief phase where we get overheated and we have to wait for it to cool down and recharge. There are power-ups that we can collect that will either restore our health. For the Falcon, we have 100 health, and we basically take 25 health per hit. So 4 hits and you're dead. So there are power-ups that will heal, as well as like a lot of really awesome weapon power-ups. So we've already had the laser. This one is the roundhouse. This is actually one I really like, because it fires out around you in a short range but 360 radius. Really effective at taking out groups. And as this game is largely a score attack, it's really fun to use. We also have 2 other abilities for our ship. This is the mine weapon real quick. You just lay these short-range proximity mines. If they attach to an enemy, they blow up. It's pretty satisfying. But we have the ability for movement-wise to boost for a short period of time, and that bar is above the health bar, or we can also slow down, basically break our ship as well. We also can collect bombs and set those off, dealing massive damage to the entire screen. And as I mentioned, we're also collecting money throughout the course of our gameplay. As we defeat enemies, as long as we're not getting damaged, we'll increase our multiplier all the way up to 32. And at 32, your multiplier will start to degrade. Any other time it just goes and stays. So the whole point is that we're playing it to collect money and set the highest score we can. It does have online leaderboards, so there's like that. You can go and compete with your friends or just the others on the net. And that's basically Space Mayhem. The game itself advertises it as an addictive shoot 'em up to play, and I would definitely agree with that statement. It's actually a lot of fun to play. When I initially started playing the game did have some performance issues, but those have largely been worked out in a patch that dropped today, actually, Saturday. So, before I was like a little bit like questionable as to what kind of review to give it, but I can definitely give it a solid recommendation. So as far as minus flavors are concerned, at this point, since the performance issues have been taken care of, the only real minus flavors I can give the game is just a little bit of lack of variety. If there were like more backgrounds, perhaps, if after a certain time the background changed or something like that, I feel it would go and add that much more to the gameplay itself. Or not so much the gameplay, but the game itself. As far as plus flavors, though, so it's really just like good, addictive, simple fun. It's the kind of game where you just want to see how long you can last, how high of a score you can set, and sometimes that's exactly what I'm looking for. It also has the whole ship unlocking system, which I just love when games have unlockables, and it's really satisfying to get a different ship. I took the carrier for this like second run just to go and show a little bit more of what the game has to offer. So the carrier is a slower ship, but it's much more heavily defended than our Falcon ship that we start with. The runner ship, the ship you unlock after this, is a super zippy ship, which when you first start controlling it can be a little bit hard to get used to, but it's a lot of fun to use. And then the last plus flavor, definitely the value that this game offers. It's only $1 on Steam, and it's definitely worth that in my opinion. So there you have it. Space Mayhem served up for your enjoyment. This is definitely one that I can give a solid recommend to. So that'll just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.